society, because I'm beginning to wonder what is not what. I saw some at Lengata Cemetery, it's like somebody went and dropped some human bones there and they look like they had been boiled. Then amebeba na hizi karatasi za dustbin, sijui akaidamp huko kwa makaburi ikapatikana huko. Sasa me, I don't know, seriously. And then Zakayo is there telling people in church that they are going to take action. Which action are they going to take now? Which action are they taking? If at all the police themselves, they are admitting that mambo ya homicide imewashinda, they are unable to do anything about it. So the cases are just piling one after, because you can see now, if at all people are dying, a woman is dying every single day. How many cases do they have? In 1 week, they have 7 homicide cases. 1 week. By the time the month is ending, they have 30. And you know how usually they are very lax. Happened that the people who operated her, they operated her, and then she left the premises and started having problem because her stomach had been perforated.
Malia, I think we lost you.
Are you getting me?
We are losing you.
Are you getting me
Malia.
now? Are you getting me now?
Yeah, go ahead. And kindly just let's go to dwell much on solution, because these are the things that are public domain, the information there, and that is why we are raged. We we already bring these things that now church are being used again. So let's just strategize and mobilize. Let's focus on that.
Okay. Okay, let me just finish up on this lady who went to the hospital. So, we need to understand what KMPDU or its or the board, like, this place was not certified to operate to do surgery. They were only there licensed as a spa. Spa ni kama hizi masauna, ma steam bath, those kind of places. So how did they end up doing and by the way, this is not the first woman who has died in that facility. I think it was some 2 years back. There's a lady who died when she's getting breast enlargement. Now the city council and the other medical guys, they have come and put a notice that they have closed the clinic. What exactly? By the way, we need to hold people accountable, because I don't understand why we have a city council, we have medical board people and all those people, and we pay them so that they can be able to regulate. Sasa, if they don't come out and regulate, even when you go to a hospital, are you going to be comfortable that mtu mwenye anakutibu ni daktari? Because I understand the problem is that the person who did the surgery was not a doctor. So are you really? The other time we saw again a fake doctor who had been, he's come this whole way and he even used to do surgeries. What are we going to do as Kenyans to protect our well-being? Because now where things have reached, it's like by the way we are just on our own. It's like we don't have a government, we don't have any institution which is working, which can be able to protect us and regulate institutions. So now there we are. Even our health, we are not sure of our health, especially with this shisha thing, which now Ruto and his team wanapigia debe, and he's saying that Kindiki will help him to piga debe. Do you need to piga debe something which is working? Or why do you need to campaign for something which is working? Being a Kenyan is hard. I'm telling you, I don't know which solution I have as that now. Back to you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. As you are saying, it's like we don't know that we don't know that we have we already know that we don't have a government, and that is why we are saying now it is time to look for solution. It is time for Kenyans to stand, come together, take the power, and now we do what we think it is right for this country. These people, these politicians that we have, they are not leaders, but they are just having a political enterprises. So what we need to do is to close all those kiosks, political enterprises, and Kenya now we take the power and we utilize accordingly so that it can work for every Kenyan, for prosperity of this country. We cannot continue dying like chickens. We cannot continue being killed, whether in hospital, by guns, by diseases, and everything. We cannot live in a country where we live like we are in the bush, where we stay like we are in the forest. We are not animals. We are human beings. We deserve dignity. We deserve respect. We deserve good life. We deserve, to our children to be able to prosper and join the globe as, we are doing innovation and taking this country way forward. But what we see is that we have leaders that they are taking us back to 19th century, of which we cannot agree. We have said enough is enough. We have seen more than we are supposed even to see in this country. So, Justus, please welcome and take the mic.
Thank you so much, comrade, and greetings. Good evening, all space members. And yes, I feel the mood. I feel the mood in the house, and I know people can cast off restraint, people can lose hope, but I just want to inspire you that the line of progress is never straight, and for a period of a movement, a movement may not, the line may not be straight, and it may encounter a lot of obstacles, and you may see the paths bends, and often it feels as though you are moving backwards, but in fact, you are moving ahead. Sometimes when you're about to reach the city, the bends may be so much, and soon you will see that the city is just closer by. Yes, I would remind you that it is closer by. It is closer, because the freedom we are fighting for is not won by a passive acceptance of suffering. And yes, I can feel that we all acknowledge and agree that the suffering is too much. Freedom is won by struggle against suffering. We have to pay that full price. And I guess maybe that is what is needed now. Because no great victories are won in a war for the transformation of a whole people without total participation. Because less than this, we'll just be creating, some amelioration of sophistication, token sophistication, which will not really answer. We must engage everyone. And the cry for Genzote and the riots are not the causes of Ruto's must go resistance. They are the consequences of the things that he's been doing to us. And this will require unilateral approach for us to collectively pull together our effort from whichever quarter. And that's why, Comrade Favish, I really appreciate. You are so consistent and persistent in the space. Keep speaking. I know some may be saying that no, the spaces are ineffective. We just keep speaking and we keep talking and we should stop talking. We should go to the street. Yes, we are going to go to the street, but we must keep talking. We've seen various elements of fights through the legal departments. We've seen in the judiciary, and we've seen in the National Assembly. But sometimes, even when the legal contest, you realize that the sole, if the legal contest is taken as a sole form of activity, the ordinary citizens are just involved as passive spectators. And his interest is stirred, but his energies are unemployed. But mass marches transform the common man into a star performer, and engage him normally is a complete, total, and commitment that comes when you engage masses. Actually, whatever you achieve with masses, even lobbying and imploring in the legislative assemblies can even, you've seen, whenever we come out, even when we came out last time in June 25th, and a number of us suffered, and I still pray and also support those I'm able to reach out to. Whenever I see my wounds, I got shot at as well in that day. And it's a when I see those marks, it reminds me of the passion that we came out for, the zeal that we came out for, which should continue inspiring us. And that much changed a lot. Because when you're saying that finance bill is back, yet we marched and we had marks and we had scars that are still living with us. And some of us are 6 feet under. Some are maimed. They can't walk. They can't function correctly because of this guy. It's just a reminder that we are getting closer there. This thing needs to be done. We can't rest. We can't let go. We need to keep moving. And we cannot move individually. We must move as a team. And Fabish, I had not been selling our party, Justice and Freedom Party, that I lead. I'm the party leader. But yes, because we needed to harmonize various movements and have come together, even from various different political parties, so that we function as one. It was not a partisan a factor then. But as it stands, there's a lot of political answers that also need to be, very clear and be very concrete. And that is why, yes, as a party, we are very open to the movement so that we may achieve justice, as we say. Because freedom, which we stand for, is not given, it's taken. It never just comes like that. You take it. And taking it requires these strategies that we are employing and we are putting in place to make sure that we move together. But now that we have moved together, yes, how are we achieving them? Because we fought to defeat finance bill, and they're coming in through the back doors. The same parliament is still the same guys. Though we have a few on our end whom we can continue using to lobby together with to make sure that these bills do not see the light of the day. And should they see the light of the day, we send greetings and get back to marching as we've done before. But then again, we have issues like formation of IEBC Commission. And as we form the IEBC Commission, we need to have our guys in there, not just watch for them to populate it with their own people. So that as a party, yes, we've participated, we pushed our guys in there, and we will still also want our guys, that is at the level of a selection panel. But then also at the level of commissions who are going to apply, we would want our own people to apply and make sure that we have competent individuals who can pass through so that this solution is functional over and above our civic agitation. We can also have advocacy to match the long-term expected solution that we're deciding. Yeah, so as a party, we are also getting ready for both scenarios. If it's not out before the beginning of 2025, then we must be ready also for election. But whether it's out, still we must be ready for election to occupy the seats where we will be recalling these the MPs who are not following the citizens' interest, or who does not have the citizens' interest at heart, and also the MCS, and also the president, and governors and senators. We need to fill these seats, and fill these seats with individuals who have the interest of the citizen at heart, not these compadres who will a deal and sacrifice us at the altars of the deals, the altars of Western and the Eastern deals. These guys have no conscience. As my sister said earlier, you see the runaway deaths. They would rather jeopardize Kenyans' life and protect theirs. I was just in the grassroots, these sides of Kisumu. I went to work with farmers and support them in enhancing food security. And I'm realizing that some of these guys are farm shambas next to the river that runs into Lake Victoria, all the way to Nile. And you know what Egyptians are doing with Nile down there. They even use it to irrigate their corn, and then they supply with corn. And nice, actually very fertile shambas bordering the rivers. But each time these people plant, the sea animals, the hippopotamus, whereas we have wildlife ranges around the same area, who should be helping in managing the wildlife conflicts, at the same time enhancing human food security. So I found the villagers are there sleeping in the night. Actually, most of the husbands are watching the corn plantation in the night. Yet there is administration police, there's chief, there is police, and KWS, the wildlife rangers. They are all sleeping during the night. But Kenyan citizens who are paying their salary in the night spend the night away from their wives and their families watching the animals. And I'm like, how would this happen? Who hired who? And why did we even employ them to begin with? So this negligence is actually a reflection on what we're having in the national arena. So I agree with you that we must put our foot forward. And we can't afford to miss our words. But we must unite in this cause. So as a party, we will allow you to honor the party wherever you are. And it's for the purposes of the movement, wherever you are, if you're a candidate who is ready to take a specific seat, this is the time. So that whatever efforts that we are fighting for should be consolidated to also bear specific fruits. Yes, when they come out, we must replace them with our guys. Who are these guys? These are the ones who the party actually are reaching out to now, so that wherever you are, and especially Fabish, when you're doing the grassroots civic awareness, as you do civic awareness, you also recruit them into the party because you'll need them tomorrow. And as you recruit them into the party, you also identify your aspirants, and we begin from because even campaign and the political seat is a process, is not an event. You don't need to wait until the election is there, then you start running here and there. So when you're doing civic education on the grassroots, you can also register them and recruit them as members of the party. And it's very easy. I'll share how you can register somebody through just a mobile phone. Is a short code that you can use.
Justus, kindly allow me to interrupt you a bit. First is there is a reason why we identify you and we treated you exception, because we have seen that what is derailing the movement, their political class. And that is why we are trying in as much as possible to run away from the political class, because most of the problem that we are facing today, they were actually scripted and initiated by the political class. Secondly, we don't currently, as it is, to be honest to you, that is where we draw the line. We don't believe in any form of election, and we don't want to align ourselves with political parties. In fact, what we are even telling our members is we want our members to start mass deregistration, deregistering themselves from any political party. If you know you ever registered yourself as a member of ODM, kindly, we will be sharing on how you are going to deregister yourself from being affiliated to ODM, because we want to start deplatforming those political parties, because they are abusing us. They are using us as the numbers to bargain for their selfish interest, and yet they are oppressing us. So even as we are boycotting Safaricom, we are also in a way now to start deplatforming those political parties. If you know that you ever registered as a member of UDA, we will also rally the members of the movement to start deregistering themselves and disassociating themselves from being the members of the UDA and disengaging totally from any activities of those political parties. Now, when we strip them, the numbers is now when they can understand where the power belongs. The idea of now telling people to register for political parties, it is a very bad idea for now. We are, in fact, we are doing the opposite. We said also that, I think I sent you the demands that we will be giving this Ruto government. We have 11 demands that we'll be giving on 11/11, and we are expecting those demands to be met in 11 days. So, yes, you are very right. After we remove William Ruto, of course, there will be election, but we don't want to be that, occupy our minds and our energies to election for now. Of course, when we reach the river, we will know how to cross it, whether we are going to swim or we are going to use the bridge. We know that when we remove the parliament and remove William Ruto and his regime, then we will plan now, because we will now identify who are the credible leaders that they can be trusted. They can be recognized by law and by us that these are leaders that are credible. The reason why we want to associate with you, it is because, yes, you are a politician, and of course, we cannot fight you from being within within us, because you are a politician. One is because you don't have that long-standing history. You are not part of this problem, because we know you are Gen Z. You are one of us. But of course, we are also trading with you carefully with a pinch of salt, because sometimes we know politicians can be easily dissuaded, but we still don't want to believe that you can. We know that you have principles. So let's not encourage people now about election, because even we said, if we cannot remove Ruto before 2027, we will do anything that it will take us to make sure that no election will be held in this country with William Ruto. It is until William Ruto step out is now when we can go for credible election, even if it means that we will tell IBC that they will not do registration anywhere in this country, even if it means in any different methods that we'll be using. Everyone that have voters card, they will desist from taking the voters card. That is how radical we are taking the movement, so that we can get this solution. That is what we are saying. To change this country, we need to make a very, very hard stand. We cannot do things the same and expect different results. This time round, we have said revolution is the way to go. So, as you are coming, yes, just maintain the political outfit that you have, but we don't want to be indoctrinated first into any political movement. And that is why you see we easily disassociated ourselves with Morara the time that he purported to register a political party, because that was not the agenda of the movement. We remain to be the movement until William Ruto go. It is now when we go to the political party, as we are doing we are heading for election, when we already agree. Of course, when we remove William Ruto, we might even decide that we need first a transitional council. We don't need to straight away outright to have a political party. We might first say that, okay, we need transitional council that will be comprised of men and women from all the 47 counties, and taking all tribes into consideration, that they will come and make one voice. And then we now want to know, how are we going to have a credible election and have, people with integrity that they are going to occupy those offices, even as we are addressing other issues, including historical injustices, land injustices, the killings, the abductions, extrajudicial killings that has happened, having those commissions that they are going to investigate, because any soul that has been lost in this country must be accounted for. That they can continue killing, but they must know that the end game is that any soul, any blood that have been spilled in this country unjustifiably must be accounted for. So the reason why we are with you is because, yes, you stand for justice and freedom, and that is what we are pursuing. But we don't want to pursue in a political manner. We are pursuing it in a movement, because we have seen political outfits. They end up being tribal. They end up, balkanizing and divide and rule agenda. That is why we really want to disassociate from that side. So we are sorry for that. But of course, we hope that you are part of the movement, even with your political outfit, even as we are mobilizing now for 11/11. And also, if maybe, because in that platform, your political outfit, we can maybe now in this movement to use it as a mouthpiece, that maybe sometimes you want to table agenda through the mainstream media. We don't need to go as a movement, but you can just go not as on behalf of movement, but just the voices that is within the movement is what you will be addressing there. I don't know whether you are getting me from that angle. That is the reason why we need you.
Good clarity, Fabish. Actually, you don't have to be sorry. You see, we talk till we come into the unity of how we unity of strategy, unity of faith, and so that we act as one. And you see, activism tailored with advocacy becomes very, very, very effective. And from political party, the clarity I wanted to bring to the table, a number of clarity. We have a number of issues that are affecting us, even in our political democratic space. Somebody says good democracy is good economy. Good economy, as somebody used to say, siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Siasa chafu, maisha, and the reverse. So for us to get good democracy, then we must have functional institutions. And political scientists will tell you that the major impediment to good democracy is populism, personism, and tribalism. And the challenge we've been having, and I think that is what we are having today, and that's a lens that we should be very careful not to use to stereotype good democracy. We've had populism, and we've had personism, and a tribalism, which actually is not a good democracy. And what we are fighting for is a democratic space which is driven by issues which are citizen-centered. But we've been having regimes hiding around political parties. Like now, Justice and Freedom Party, I'm happy you are getting to know us. You cannot be registered as a party if you're not national. As I speak, we have aspirants, even in Wajir, in Lamu, candidates who are elected in our party. We are all over the country. And the nationalistic aspect of it actually is what as labor as is for. You'll hear us in so many things that I will highlight later. But we need to distinguish between populism, personism that we are having currently. And political scientists will tell you that they are a danger, they are impediment to proper democratic practice. Because a populist will require sycophants to surround them. And those populists normally they have a party. Without them, there is no party. And those are how you can describe. Actually, that's what defines maybe one or two or four political parties that you famously know. Because most of them are centered around individuals, not issues. They're not nationalistic. You take away those individuals, you cease to have a party. And these are the challenges we've had. Because populism thrives around tribalism, thrives around sycophants, where there is no accountability. Sometimes you might even be surprised that Ruto is not even being advised, because he surrounded himself with sycophants, he's surrounded himself with individuals who are incompetent, and guess what? These are the results we're seeing to date. So if we were to allow institutions to work, because the change that we are pushing for and accountability matrix that we are judging them with is the constitution that we, the people, gave to ourselves. And we, the people, as we gave ourselves the constitutions to rule ourselves, and the sovereign authority still solely relies or belongs to the people. And we can exercise it far-beach directly or indirectly. Now, we have two scenarios of what you've explained. We can suspend the constitution and exercise our sovereign authority directly without the constitution. But still, we can exercise our sovereign authority directly through the constitution. And that will mandate us to then empower the institutional foundations that we need to remain effective. So if the political structure or the political formation that the Constitution has given us is currently through the political parties and Political Parties Act, then it will be wise. I saw Raila sometimes abscond, boycotted a repeat election during Maraga against Uhuru. And what happened? The election went on. Uhuru just won.
Just hold on there. I want to put it this way. Then I will give Xavier so that you can answer together. First is that, we have been discussing in these places, but, one thing that politicians, they will always deny it is because sometimes a lot of politicians, they are driven by ambitions. One thing that is very clear in this country is that the constitution has been suspended, not by the Kenyans, by the movement, or by Kenyans who are yearning for change, but by the regime itself. It is not working in parliament, it is not working in judiciary, it is not working in the executive, it is not working in the security sector, it is not working in the health sector. So currently, as we are speaking, the constitution has been suspended by one William Ruto. That is, no matter which language, how we want to arrange our words, they are operating outside the constitution. The country is being on autopilot. It is not driven again by the supreme law of the land. That is the reality of things on the ground. And that is why we are saying that now what we need is through the popular revolution first. After that now is now when we can restore the order of constitutionalism and law and order in this country. But we cannot fight in his own space where he is good at thriving at. We have seen offices being created outside the constitution and yet using our taxpayers' money, and nothing is being done. Nowhere to address the judiciary as totally, they are blind, they have closed their ears, they are not seeing evil, they are not hearing evil. Now, we as Kenyans, we cannot be hopeless. We cannot stay as if we are begging anyone permission to be in this country. That's why we are saying, Kwamba, constitution we may suspend, we are ready to go that way, but we are going to take the power back. And the good thing is, at least you suspend the constitution, lakini sisi, we will use that one chapter in the constitution that the power belongs to the people, and now we are going to take that power. In that chapter, it did not tell us that we need a political outfit to take that power, but we just need to go and grab that power and take it unto ourselves. Then now we decide on how we want to donate that power or how we want to exercise it, that power, whether we continue exercising it directly or whether now we want to donate it. And so that is the stand, and that is what every Kenyan can attest. So I know, in as much as you belong to this generation that is yearning for change, but the system currently cannot favor any, someone that is purporting to operate in the constitution that has been suspended, that is not there, now here. So let me give to Xavier, because I know he will have something also to add on to that and rebuttal, so that when you answer generally, and everyone who is here also, because I don't want to, I want to give other speakers, just you have a pen and a paper so that you address this thing. There is a reason why I want you here. Normally we don't entertain politicians, but there is a reason why I see sense in you. I see sense, at least in the people that you are working together with. There is a reason why we need you as a comrade. Trust me, we don't want to cut you out, but we just want to have a productive dialogue with you. You understand us clearly, and then we understand you, and now we can reach a consensus where we will go together in this movement. So, Amsevia. Okay, Amsevia, if you are not ready, let's give to Mike Omamo.
Asante sana Fabish. I first want to begin by thanking you for having this space. This is a very different kind of space. If you've been around other spaces, you realize that this is a very, very different kind of space. This is a space where people have been unplugged. This is a space where people understand that this movement shifted from being peaceful to being a revolution the moment the first bullet was shot. This is that kind of space. This is a space where people understand that we are now being led by two ICC criminals. And I don't think people have really sat with this truth that we're being led by two ICC criminals. So leo, before you sleep, just kaa kwa kitanda yako kidogo tu and really sit down with this fact that we're being led by two ICC criminals. And that alone will really help you shift how you look at this revolution. And that is why we've been saying we need to start operating as a revolution. We need to stop thinking of winning this fight constitutionally because, like Fabish said, wametupa constitution. They have butchered that constitution. They're not going to operate in a constitution kind of way. So it is time we start thinking of it that way and operating like criminals. That is the truth. That is the truth. I wanted to say that if your family or your friends or your circle are still for Ruto, it means you've not done enough educating. You've not done enough civic education. And civic education is not as complex as people imagine it to be. I know people think about civic education as preaching to your family and engaging them in political debates. Civic education is not that complex. Like, for example, today I was talking to one of my cousins and I was asking her how these women rep have helped the women, and she could not answer that question. And that alone is civic education. That alone, just having her think about hawa women rep wanafanya kazi gani kusema ukweli. That alone is civic education. Another conversation I was having with my family is I was talking to them about sort of venturing into agriculture and buying cows for milk purposes. And I was engaging them about that. I sort of slipped Bill Gates into the conversation. Nikaanza kuwauliza hata hizi ng'ombe zenye nataka kununua na Ruto analeta mtu wa GMO na hizi finance na hizi bills zao za agriculture, hizi ng'ombe zitatusaidia kweli? And that alone is civic education. Like, civic education doesn't have to be as complex as people imagine it to be. it can always slip into very normal conversations. So if your friends and family and circle are still for Ruto, it means you're not engaging them enough. Another thing I wanted to talk about is let us start finding ways to psychologically crippling this government, because that is exactly what they're doing to us. They are really psychologically crippling us. Wanna to engage in all sorts of things, all sorts of bills. Kila siku ni free this, free that, free this person. Sasa hata sisi, it is time we start using such tools. And what are some of the ways that we can engage them psychologically? Some of the ways we can do that is things like multiple demonstrations. Wakidhania tuna meet Milimani Court peke yake, tunaenda JKIA pia, tunaenda Safaricom pia. You know, we start confusing them. We start thinning out their monopoly of violence that they think they have. We can start using such tools. Another way is having secret meetings out of these spaces, you know. Let us have them think, watu wanafanya nini, wana plan nini. That is another way of psychologically crippling these people. Another way ni kuwasalimia. Ukiona mtu ameweka namba ya hawa watu, politicians, Ndegwa, nani, wasalimie with that number that you don't use. Wasalimie. That is another way of psychologically crippling them. Another way is to criticize them whenever they come to this our events, kwa matanga, kwa church. You know, you shout at them. That is another way of psychologically crippling them. Let us not show up at their events. These events that they make and want to invite, watupikie sijui chapo na nini, watupatie chapati. Tukatae kuenda hizo vitu. Wakitupea chapati unazirusha, unawarushia, you throw them back at them. That is another way of psychologically crippling these people. Let us have these people live in fear. Lazima waogope kuenda hizi events. Wanajue, nikienda huko, wanaweza nitukana. Nikienda huko, wanaweza nirushia mayai. Nikienda huko, watanipiga na mawe. Let us have them start living in fear, causing them as much pain, as much psychological pain as they are causing us. Kwa sababu mimi kila siku nikiamka, nasikianga tu nimechoka akili, you know, every day. But I have to keep on fighting every day. So as we continue speaking, let us continue thinking about also psychological ways of crippling this government. Let us keep on fighting. A time will come. Believe me, the time will come. And when that time comes, we have to completely replace these old bastards, this old generation of leaders, because all they're thinking about is bribery. All they're thinking about is tribalism. All they're thinking about is being political chameleons. All they're thinking about is self-interest. That is the kind of generation that the leaders we have right